So first of all, we'll discuss excretion because this is simplest one. Have we discussed this yesterday? Okay, so we discussed basically the respiratory exchange and the respiration, gas exchange and respiration, and pathogens and immunity, right? Right? Okay. So today we are going to discuss excretion. How will you define excretion? Which base products? Metabolic waste, basically. So it's a removal of metabolic waste from the body. Okay, the metabolic waste can be of different type. The very first metabolic waste is the carbon dioxide. Okay, it is produced by the metabolism of food like carbohydrates, proteins, whatever, through rest, and it is basically excreted through lungs. Okay, yes. The second metabolic product is water, and it is water. So basically, the respiration is a metabolic process. Okay, product. Okay, so basically, all respiration is metabolic process. So respiration produces carbon dioxide and water, right? Is it so? Yesterday we read the equation that respiration produces carbon dioxide, water. So both are metabolic waste. So this is removed through sweat or through urine. Okay, or when we expire air, or when we exhale, the water vapors also move out from our mouths. Okay, the third metabolic product is urea, which is produced by the metabolism of amino acids. Okay, and it is produced by yeah. Okay, by which organ? By liver. So the deamination process. Okay, how do you define deamination? It's a breakdown of amino. It's the removal of amine group from amino acid. Sorry, I'm explaining. Okay, this is the structure of amino acid, which is part of your sorry, organic chemistry as well. On one side there is carboxylic group, and on the other side there is amine group. So the removal of this amine group from the amino acid is basically deamination. Okay, the D means to remove from the amino acid. This complete is the amino acid, and it converts into urea. Okay, into urea. Do you know the structure of urea? So there is no need to learn that structure, but it's simple. There is a carboxylic group, and then there is amine group. Okay. Okay. Uh, then we have to learn about the excretory system. So the excretory system is consists of few organs which you must know, because most of the time the question comes for the labeling. Okay, so the first question is name the parts. The very okay, 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 okay. Yes. N- no, 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 no. just have to learn the renal artery. Most of the time, the arrows are shown. If the arrow is going in the kidney, towards the kidney, it would be artery. If it's going away from kidney, it would be vein. And the term that we use for the for the kidney, that is renal. Okay, for so there are certain terms like renal is for kidney. What is for liver? Hepatic. Hepatic, good. And what is for lungs? Good. Heart, coronary artery. Okay. Coronary. There is one disease given in the book, coronary heart diseases, which we didn't discuss yesterday, because this is more related to heart. So I decided to to discuss this today, not yesterday. Okay, though this was part of your pathogen and diseases. Okay, okay. The next thing is, let's dissect the kidney. Okay, kidney has three parts. The outer part is known as cortex. Then the inner part is called medulla, and this part where the urine is collected, this part is known as pelvis. So there are three parts of the kidney that you must know. No, no. So this one is the kidney. Clear? You must know the names. Very important. Okay. Then let's talk about the functional unit. What is the functional unit of kidney? Like the functional unit of the functional unit of lungs is alveoli. The functional unit of small intestine is the what is the functional unit of small intestine? Uh-huh. What what organ, what part of the small intestine does the absorption? Mm-hmm, 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 mm-hmm. No. What part of the small intestine is present in ileum? What is present in ileum? No, no. You will know. You must know. Villi. The functional unit of small intestine is villi. The functional unit of lungs is lungs. Alveoli. Good. The functional unit of brain or spinal cord, relay neurons. Relay neurons. Okay. You must know that basically relay neuron works over here. Okay. So the functional unit of kidney is nephron. Okay. This structure is very important. Moreover, its labeling and its function both are important. Okay, let's talk about the first part. So the blood enters into this nephron. This one is basically a group of blood vessels and is known as glomerulus. Okay. All the blood enters over here. Now, what happens in glomerulus? Ultrafiltration. What is ultrafiltration? Ultrafiltration mean, G. Wait. Carbon dioxide is excreted through lungs. Water is excreted through certain processes, including this one as well. Okay. Now, what would enter here and what would not? First thing that will enter, water, ions, no, urea and glucose. These four molecules would pass through it into this Bowman's capsule. This U shape is called as Bowman's capsule. Okay, so four things can enter through the glomerulus while the bigger molecules cannot, like proteins cannot enter. What other things cannot enter? Starch, good. Glycogen, okay, fats, white blood cells, red blood cells, these cannot enter in through it. Proteins, okay, only four molecule can enter. Clear? Okay, now this curved thing is called as convoluted tubule or renal tubule. Renal tubule. Convoluted mean it's like a curved one, and basic reabsorption takes place in this layer. Basic reabsorption in this tubule. First of all, the glucose would be reabsorbed. And how much? All glucose would be reabsorbed. Okay, then in the second part, most of the water is reabsorbed along with ions. Clear? If if your body needs more water, then water more would be absorbed from here. And this part is known as collecting duct. It would contain unabsorbed water, unabsorbed ions, and urea. Hmm, 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 hmm. Okay, it is supplied with blood vessels. So glucose, water, and ions are reabsorbed by the blood vessels, or they diffuse into the blood vessels. Okay, urea cannot diffuse it back. Would stay, yeah, would stay in the nephron. Exactly, exactly. Okay, this collecting duct basically opens into pelvis. Okay, what is pelvis? This region is pelvis, where the urine is collected. This one. Okay, from here, then urine passes into the ureter and store in urinary bladder. When bladder is filled, then it is removed through urethra. Okay, one more thing. What controls the opening and closing of bladder? That is the sphincter muscles. Okay, they control the opening and closing of stomata. Oh, stomata carrying you, the bladder. Even the small intestine or the large intestine or the stomach, they all have sphincter muscles. So when you take in food and when food goes into the stomach, the sphincter muscles closes or contracts, which means food cannot come out of the stomach now. Okay, so what happened in the reverse peristalsis or the vomiting? So basically that sphincter reopen and the undigested food come out through the esophagus. Okay, so sphincter muscles are present to control the closing of certain organ. Okay, uh, we have done the ultrafiltration, then the reabsorption. Now the third one is the urine. Okay, let's talk about the collecting duct. Okay, what controls the volume and concentration of urine? That is weather or body needs. Okay, so urine would be concentrated and less volume. If temperature is high, because more water is absorbed, and if temperature is low, then it would be dilute and more volume. Okay, so So this is all about the chapter. Do you have any question? What? The reabsorption one or the urine collection? Reabsorption. Okay. Now four things passes into the nephron. Only four. First one is water, second one is ion, third one is glucose, and fourth one is urea. Okay. Now these four, out of these four, one is completely reabsorbed. That is that is glucose. One is not reabsorbed, urea, and one there are two which are partially reabsorbed, water and ions. Okay. Now, any question related to reabsorption is important, by the way. You need to know how this one is reabsorbed. I'm trying to save one file, it's not saving. What's the issue? I'm trying to do it, but like, okay, it's opening over here. Let me check if we have another one in excretion, another topic, or any other thing that we need to discuss. Excretory organs, the function of kidney, the nephron, the liver and its role. Okay, yesterday we discussed the liver as well. That liver has many functions: detoxification, deamination, right? Even the breakdown of red blood cells takes place in liver. Okay, so liver is the major gland that controls most of the functions of our body. Okay, this is all in this chapter. Okay, let's move to transport. Okay, where is the okay transport in humans? So first of all, we need to discuss two important things. One is this type of circulation. How many types of circulations are there? How many types? Sorry? Yes, 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 yes. How many types of circulations are there? Single circulation? Okay, what are they? How do you define it and what are the advantages of double circulation? Okay. Okay. Yes. Yes. This is the main thing. No, is pressure, the maintenance of pressure. Okay. Now, tell me, when is the pressure high in double circulation? When in pulmonary artery or in the aorta? Aorta. So pulmonary artery has a lesser pressure because it has to pump blood to the lungs, which is near to it, while the aorta has to pump blood to the whole like body. So the pressure would be more, and this double circulation help it to maintain that pressure with which it pumps the blood to the whole body. Okay. Okay. Let's discuss. Okay, single circulation is present in single circulation is present in which animals? and double circulation in most of the organisms. No, you can tell others as well. Basically, the type of fish, because it's going towards the like gills for the circulation. Okay. Hmm. 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 Yes. Then you have to define both. Okay. Then there is then there is another difference that the the human has four chambers while the fish has two. Okay. Yes. Okay. The next part is the heart. Okay, then there are certain parts of the circulatory system. The very first part is the very first part is blood. Second part is the blood vessels. We'll discuss in this order. And the third part is heart. Okay. So there are three components of the circulatory system. Let's discuss blood first of all. Okay, blood again has four components: plasma, red blood cells, okay, white blood cells, platelets. Okay, let's discuss each one of these. Okay, what is plasma? Plasma is basically water along with dissolved substances. Those can be like the digested food like amino acid, fatty acid, glycerol, the carbon dioxide, urea, and so many other dissolved substances, hormones even. Okay, so the main purpose of plasma is the transportation of material across the body. Okay, second uh, subcomponent is red blood cells. Okay, red blood cells break down in liver and they are made in synthesized in the liver or the bone marrow. Okay, they break down in liver for very short because they are of like their lifespan is of 3 to 4 months. Okay, so they break down in liver. So the new cells must form. So they form. Okay, sorry. Yes, yes. And the new cells basically made from the bone marrow. Okay. Moreover, when they exactly when they become mature, they do not have nucleus. No nucleus. And what is the purpose of having no nucleus? So that hemoglobin it can give space to hemoglobin and it can bind with oxygen to carry oxygen. Okay. Moreover, if there is no nucleus, it becomes flexible and they can fold through the capillaries. Red blood cells, because there is no nucleus, these cells can fold a bit and they can easily pass through capillaries. Okay, then their shape is biconcave, just like donuts, but not like empty from the middle. Okay, they're like biconcave. Okay, what else must you know about the red blood cells? They have a red pigment, hemoglobin, that we have already discussed. They do not have a nucleus, they are biconcave, they break down after 3 to 4 months. Okay, this is all. Okay, now, bl- yes, yes. There is one disorder associated with it which is called as sickle cell anemia. Now, what is this? As we say that the shape of red blood cell is biconcave. Okay, so in sickle cell anemia the shape is not biconcave, mean the shape is not proper, which means that it cannot carry enough oxygen. So there is deficiency of basically red blood cells, so we call it sickle cell anemia. Sickle cell mean the shape of cell is like a sickle. Okay. Third component of blood is white blood cells. They have different durations. Yesterday we talked about the memory cells, which stay in the body for a longer time. Okay. So there are two type of white blood. Oh, first of all, let's talk about their structure. They have nucleus. They have different nucleus. Sorry, let's talk about different nucleus in the next one because you need to label it. Okay. They what else? What else I was about to say? They have nucleus, and then there are two types. The very first type is lymphocyte. So we discussed lymphocyte yesterday, which produces antibodies, which are specific to certain antigens and complementary in shape, and they bind with the antigen and destroy them. Okay. The second type is phagocyte. Phagocyte engulf the pathogen, eat up the whole pathogen. Wait, I'm giving you the diagram for labeling because the question is on diagram most of the time. Cells. Um, Blood cells. Um, there was a diagram. I want to give you a proper diagram for this one, which is okay. This one is more proper, appropriate one. You would see such diagrams in your exam. Um, I don't like these diagrams. Uh, they are like separated diagrams. I'm giving you a separate one, okay? Okay. So how could you identify if it's a lymphocyte or if it's a phagocyte? If it has a proper nucleus, like a complete round nucleus, that would be lymphocyte. If the nucleus is broken, we call it lobed nucleus. Then it would be phagocyte. Okay, you may have this type of diagram. Okay, I found one. Copy image. Okay, this diagram. It would be like this, and you have to identify the cell. Okay, these one, which are like donor shape, these are red blood cells. These are platelets. These have lobed nucleus. The nucleus is like broken. This one is white blood cell. Oh, sorry, phagocytes. This one is a complete nucleus. This one. So it would be lymphocyte. Okay. So you should know the. Okay. Okay. Wait. This one. Okay. Okay. Wait. Look at the left top. Look at the left top. It is a round and complete. This one is lymphocyte. Okay. Now look at the right. The very right top. This one is incomplete. It's broken. This one is phagocyte. Yes. Anything which has a broken. Okay. The very small ones are this one, this one, this one is the immature cell. It's a red blood cell immature. Immature has nucleus, the mature one doesn't have. Okay. Okay. The last one is the platelets. Platelets are small fragments. They are like threads. They make threads called as fibrin. So basically what happened when anybody has a wound, so the fibrinogen, it gets activated and produce a fibrin. It's a fiber. And this fiber along with dead cells and calcium make a scab. There is a whole process given in your book. Uh, hmm. Yes. Wait, let me check where it is. I've opened it somewhere else. Where? Now I forgot where I've opened it. Totally forgot. Where is it now? Okay, here. Okay. Transport and humans. It's on page number platelets. Page number 179. Okay, the whole process is given. That first of all, when you have a wound or damage, so a soluble protein is formed which is fibrinogen, and this is then changed into fibrin which is insoluble. It form a network of fiber which is called as scab. Okay, what is the purpose of this scab? So that the germ cannot enter through. Okay, this is, let's say, soluble one. Where is the pen? This is soluble and this one is insoluble.